Getting in some breaking news now. A very interesting tweet by Greta Thunberg about 2 hours ago. And that tweet that was put out by Greta Thunberg speaks about and gives away, in fact, the full anti-India plot. Tweeted 2 hours ago. It's a document that's available on Greta Thunberg's Twitter handle. It's titled Global Farmers Strike. And it says more about what you need to do to be a part of the protest. Now, the shocking aspect of this document, and we're going to show you the parts of the document. In fact, we're putting out the full details. It gives away the full plot. We'll show our viewers a little bit about what it says in detail. But this document, and we're showing you a few parts of it in just a minute from now. It gives away details and tells you the plan of action starting January. It was tweeted about 2 hours ago. Ankit from our digital desk will be joining us live from the newsroom with a document that Greta Thunberg tweeted about 2 hours ago. The hashtag in that document says Ask India Why, says Global Farmers Strike, first wave, Global Farmers Strike, first wave. And it says, will you be part of the largest protest in human history? And then it talks about India's failing democracy. Has nothing to do with farmers. India's failing democracy. So the target was the government. It was never farmers. Ankit, if you can hear me, if you're through, just go through that, the urgent action, the call for action, the so-called call for action, Ankit. It speaks about Twitter storm on 4th and 5th February, sharing solidarity photo, video messages, writing mails, call or emailing government representatives wherever they are in the world. And Ankit has that document open there. That's the document that Ankit has open. I'm going to read out some more. In fact, Ankit, the shocking aspect that I'm picking up from this document, Ankit, look at that section called prior action.
Right.
Prior action says, point number 1, share solidarity message on the 25th of January.
Right. It's the date that's important,
It
Niranjan.
says, tweet on the 26th of January, 26th of January, 23rd of January. I mean, what's going on? So it gives away the full story, the full plan of action. This was coordinated all along.
It was coordinated.
Take our viewers through it. Let's cut to that document and read out from it.
It was coordinated all along, Niranjan. That's what comes out of this, because Greta Thunberg only posted this 2 hours back. But when you go inside the document, you find instructions very detailed, and they are speaking about matters that happened weeks back. We all remember the violence that was unleashed on Republic Day when Delhi was overtaken by protesters who invaded different parts of the city and fought with policemen. Now here it says, share your solidarity photo or video message by email, preferably by 25th January. Now if I go further, they go beyond the digital realm. They ask people in brackets, physically if possible, and they ask people across the world to go outside Indian embassies wherever they are and to protest against them. They are seeking not only a hashtag Twitter storm, which is what they say, but they also want a physical element to this. It goes on and it suggests physical actions near Indian embassies, government offices, media houses, and they also name corporate enterprises that they want to target. The corporate enterprises they refer to in a way that we are familiar with in political discourse in the country. Participate in or organize an on-ground protest. That is what they list as the number 1 point on how you can help. And the dates I want to emphasize. While we are focusing on the 26th, you are encouraged to continue organizing gatherings as and when possible. They're talking about Republic Day. They're talking about opposing India on Republic Day, which happened a few weeks back, and everyone knows what happened then. More ways to participate from 21st to 26th February. So this is not just limited to January. We are only in a midpoint in their entire plan to malign India.
So scroll down. Ankit, scroll down to that part, scroll down to the section, scroll down to a section which is marked out in red. Ask India Why via campaigns, digital campaigns. There's a point that says India has a long history of human rights violation. Go to that point. Go to that point. India has a long history of human rights violation. A little, I think, a little above. You've scrolled down right to the bottom. Just go up a little bit. Go up a little bit.
It
it's
says,
under point 2, more ways to participate, more ways to
let
participate.
me read it out. India has a long
No,
history.
zoom in on that,
apparently.
zoom in
Here
on
it
that,
goes.
because that's the point that Congress party and all the... No, focus on that point that says India has a long history of human rights violations. I mean, who the hell is Greta Thunberg to talk about India and defame India, saying India has a long history of human rights violation? I'm sorry, please focus on that. Zoom in on that.
Here it is.
Zoom in on that
Here
point
it is,
a
Niranjan.
little bit.
If
Look
we
at
can
that.
zoom into
Greta
it.
Thunberg. No. Greta Thunberg has the guts to say India has a long history of human rights violations, violence, cruel indifference for its most vulnerable citizens. On January 26th, the government will be celebrating the adoption of its constitution with a military parade while continuing to perpetuate harmful policies that violate their own constitution. I mean, what's going on? This is proof. Look at that. And go to the next point. Go to the next point. Just scroll down to the next point. Ankit,
Here
it
it is.
says,
It's even worse.
she says in this document that India's farmers and other citizens need the global community to pay attention. She says the world needs to know that India is retreating from a democracy, regressing hard by rushing headlong into fascism. International focus on these protests may be the only thing preventing more state-sponsored violence. I mean, what's fake news? Greta Thunberg is spreading fake news, saying that there is state-sponsored violence and massacre and genocide. I want to ask Greta Thunberg, where is massacre and genocide happening in India right now? She has mentioned state-sponsored violence. She has defamed India. She has said about India that India has a long history of human rights violations. I mean, what the hell is going on? I want you to show those two paragraphs once again. Read those 2 paragraphs once again, Ankit, to our viewers.
Here it is. Here it is. It comes under a section
If this
called...
is not, Greta Thunberg defaming India and attacking India, what is?
Apparently. So Greta Thunberg wants the world community to believe that India has a long history of human rights violations, violence, and a cruel indifference for its most vulnerable citizens. On January the 26th, the government will be celebrating the adoption of its constitution with a military parade while continuing to perpetuate harmful policies that violate their own constitution, apparently. She goes on to add, India's farmers and other citizens need the global community to pay attention. The world needs to know that India is retreating from a democracy. India is retreating from a democracy, Greta Thunberg says, regressing hard by rushing headlong into fascism. The international focus on these protests may be the only thing preventing more state-sponsored violence and another massacre/genocide in India. So here they are openly talking about massacre and genocide in India. This is part of a campaign to call a lot of people across the world to protest against India at its various embassies and offices, wherever it is, not only online, but also physically. They have sought people to come and answer their call physically as well. This plan apparently is to go on further into February. They have events that they have planned for up till February 26th. Niranjan, we are on February the 3rd today. They are planning up to 3 weeks ahead on what they are going to do. This is highly coordinated. As you can see, Google, because now that Greta Thunberg had shared this 2 hours ago, Google is telling us that some of the tools may be unavailable.
Zoom into the document. I can't, it is not very clear. It's not very clear. Why don't you zoom in? Because there's a little bit of a glare on the screen.
There's a bit of a glare on the screen.
There's a glare on the screen. Zoom in.
If we can just focus on this line up here, if we can just focus on the line up here, this is a line, it's a Google Drive document. And there were 70 people on it when I first opened it. Now there are hundreds on it. Some tools might be unavailable due to heavy traffic to this file. So Greta Thunberg has amplified the reach of this document that plans a on-ground and online protest against India. It makes allegations that are simply untrue by any stretch of imagination. They are wild allegations. They are the kind of conspiracy theories you read online and are unsubstantiated. They are the kind of things that a lot of the celebrities who have waded into the farmers' row are talking about. We've seen all through the day how people are writing and pushing a narrative that comes as a surprise to most of us sitting in the country, because so far as we know, no such incident has taken place. In fact, there were 12 rounds of the farmers speaking with the center. In fact, before Republic Day, the Delhi police and the farmers had planned meticulously about how along 3 routes they will protest,
in that document,
and that was what was
document,
breached.
No. There is no. Let me tell you, Ankit. At the bottom of that document, there is a point. Greta Thunberg. Can you imagine Greta Thunberg, the activist, has asked for people to divest from Ambani and Adani. I don't understand the connection.
Absolutely.
I don't understand the connection. A climate activist calling India a human rights violator, saying that there is massacre and genocide in India, is asking people to divest from Ambani and Adani. There's something much more sinister that's at play globally, and India is fighting back.